We are live. I can talk. Nobody else is making sound? Okay. It really fucking is. Um, that I learned this. I'm a dumbass. For whatever reason. Okay. Somebody say something.
Hello,
Okay.
hello, hello.
And then give it the 5 seconds.
Okay, I think that's coming through.
Okay. For whatever reason, I forgot that I figured this out. My desktop audio, like the audio mixer, is fucking the same no matter what scene I am on, which is dumb. Um,
Yeah. And now you're probably a normal volume. I almost said temperature, but we are way louder than you, Ben. We are way louder than
which just means that I didn't have this set to max. Okay, I'm gonna go there. Now say something. Now we test. Somebody say something.
Oh, okay. Doodly doo, doodly doo, doodly 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 doo.
Okay, Ben, talk again.
Hello, hello, hello.
Ben, talk again. Better. You're still a little bit quiet, but that's it's a lot better.
Um,
See it?
hmm?
I was gonna ask if my volume was okay.
Yes. Yeah, yours is fine.
Okay.
Okay. I would like to be the same as y'all, so I am going to drop this just a bit more. Y'all talk again, please.
Okie dokie.
Test.
Asher, I want to show you something that I bought someone the other day.
Okay.
So I'm finding it to send to you.
Hey, Ben.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I speak. I test volume levels as well.
Still a little bit quiet.
Okay.
Okay.
Is everyone else getting quieter every time I do this?
Yes. Yeah, it's
Okay.
getting closer. Just it's working just a little bit more.
Okay. Once more, everyone, for the cameras.
Okay.
I am not turning myself up, I am turning y'all down. Because I don't actually have the ability to turn myself up. I lied, I
That's
can
fair.
definitely turn myself up.
Good job.
Okay. All right. Ben
Hello, hello. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3.
and Bronwyn.
I bought Bridget a frog teapot, and that's what I just sent Asher. For tadpole cups.
And Asher.
The frog is so round. He
Is
is
it a
such a round frog.
is it a boggy? Is
It's
it boggy?
boggy.
It's
It's
fucking
boggy.
boggy.
I'm gonna send you.
I sent it to the chat.
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent.
Ben, I think if you're just a
Tad-
little bit louder.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a touch, and then we're gonna fucking throw caution to the wind, and it, we'll fix it in post. That's not possible. I can't do that.
Oh, you cannot. Not
um,
on the Twitch
Okay.
stream.
All right, let's go for it.
okay, so last session, y'all fought a clawless bear. Um,
He was
The-
declawed? Who
that
declawed him?
It's animal
the
cruelty.
fucking dice did. A declawed, detoothed, rubber axe wielding werebear.
Where's the bear? Was he still naked in the hills?
He's probably still naked in the hills. Who just roll the terrible across the board on everything forever. Highest plus to hit of any monster y'all have faced and did not land a single hit. There were some other mathematical issues of misreading spells by the DM that probably added to it a bit, but what? I misread it. It's my mess up.
No, not you.
What?
Jenny's message in the chat is what I'm flipping off. I'm not flipping off you, Ben.
Oh no.
Okay. Carry on. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So, the motherfucker missed somewhere between 6 and 8 attacks in a row, and then just got eviscerated by Moonbeam. Basically, Henry called down an orbital strike beam from the heavens, and absolutely wrecked this motherfucker. Saved his life. He then woke up. Y'all killed him again. Henry saved his life again. And then y'all finally decided, let's not hang around the unconscious guy. Beat feet through the night and made it all the way back to Storgard. Even with the, mega thrown off trail that Henry led y'all through the session previous. So, the party returned to Storgard, had basically no conversation with the guards at the gate, and went to their respective rooms, where Call on their way was handed a letter from Zerka, from their mom, but Zerka handed it to them. So, that is where we are picking up now. I suppose I should go ahead and give that letter to Call. Give me 1 second. Getting my... Messing with junk. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, me. Okay. Yes. Suppose I could have had this document open and ready. But that would be more prepared than I ever am. Okay.
I'm just waiting for Bronwyn to explode with anticipation.
The problem is, if he's about to drop it in my inbox, it is just going to be sitting there for a second before I'm going to read it. And I do this to myself.
I do have to send it in 2 parts.
Oh my god, it's that long. There's the notification and I can't click it yet.
Why? What?
Because I hate myself. Because Paul absolutely needs a second person to be more emotional support. So if I'm gonna read it, Call's gotta see where either Percy or Arnold is.
Okay, so that being said, real quick, first of all, Ren, Henry, is there anything that y'all did before, losing consciousness?
Just went to bed.
Just went to bed.
Maybe.
I know what Henry did. So there was sleeping was done. Waking up in the mornings. Oh, the pretty. Hello, pretty.
Hi, pretty.
So, where am I? Henry has a level of exhaustion, so is definitely waking up last. But other than that, give me just Constitution checks, Ren and Call.
Okay. 25.
Oh, that's a nat 1, my guy.
Call, understandably, is sleeping in today. So, Ren, with your 25, you wake up. Wait, how did you get a 25? You did a saving
Rolled a
throw.
19. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to check, but it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. The difference between a 1 and not a 1. Um, uh, so you wake up. Is there anything that you have to do in the morning? Is there anything that you're wanting to do in the morning?
Me?
Yes.
Yes, but I'm okay if we go with the other two first because I know we're short on time today.
Um,
So Ren can wait.
so is Ren not heading to either the barracks or Henry's room first thing in the morning?
No.
Okay, then that is what we will do. So, as I said, Henry is also sleeping in. I'm going to say level of exhaustion is actually going to supersede the nat 1. So, Call does wake first. And when you wake up, it's a little bit later in the morning than you normally wake up. But Jax is still bedridden, and in the light of day, you can see that he is bandaged around his chest, and he is actually also still sleeping because he's a hurt boy. Other than that, you see. Well, you have fucking 25 passive perception. You see Pym hanging out in the rafters, just kind of piddling around. The boy.
Boy. Heck yeah.
He looks so sleepy and dopey.
Pym looks pretty bored, but is still in the barracks. And then Andy is doing his normal kind of just standing in the corner.
Andy is an NPC waiting for someone to talk to him.
Basically. Other than that, the barracks is completely empty. Beds are made, which is not uncommon. But like, if you were to guess, you wouldn't think that any of the other beds were even slept in this past night, except, well, Dirk's is a mess because Dirk is Dirk.
Dirk is a mess.
Like, to restate that, his like area is a mess, but none of his mess bleeds out at all. Like, it is all in his stuff. But yeah, so Jax is sleeping, Pym's in the rafters, and Andy is standing in the corner, waiting to give someone a quest.
Knowing that Call's probably going to, get ready for the day and then on their way out the door kind of past Auntie and go like, where is everybody?
He gives you just like a little nod of acknowledgement and says, Zerka sent, basically everyone who's not here on a scouting mission, hoping to catch Alluria's party returning.
That's a lot of...
Yeah. They'll probably be gone for a few more days.
That's a lot of people for that. Are they anticipating that much trouble?
Give me a second to find Andy's dice. Oh, Addie was playing with it. I don't have it. That's really sad. Okay.
Wait, is it in the evil dice box? Because she puts stuff in there sometimes.
It is. Andy, I'm so sorry.
Well, it's not. It's the mama box now, because now mama dice go in there.
Okay.
It's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing. Okay. So he takes a look around and kind of leans in a little bit and says, Seymour hasn't been doing well. Still. Estley kind of. Actually, no. He says Zerka assigned Estley to lead the group, and said something about keeping certain others away. She didn't really clue me in on a lot of it, but I think that she wanted a few of them out of the city.
Everything seems so tumultuous right now.
Make an insight check real quick.
Okay. $15.
Okay, 15 is high enough. You've known Andy for a little while now, like over 2 years, or about 2 years. You're finally starting to pick up when he actually does display emotion. It's just tiny. And you manage to catch him roll his eyes in a very subtle way. And he just says, I could not agree more.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's about to die down anytime soon either.
He looks a little curious at that.
I get the impression that we're dealing with a whole bunch of little things that are adding up to a much bigger situation. And I don't think these things are isolated, and I think they're just going to build.
He gives you an Andy face, which is nothing. And you hear like a best description of it is a croak behind you. And Jax is struggling to sit up. And seeing you kind of by the door, he's like, what, you come in, jump on my broken ribs, and you're just gonna peace out without saying anything?
You were dead to the world, asshole. What did you want me to do?
I don't know, 300 gold piece diamond?
Call's gonna walk over and try to gently help Jax sit up.
You hear Pim above you just kind of chuckling lightly, and when you look up, she's just like throwing a dagger in the air and catching it. And Jack's, fully sitting up now, wincing and such. He says, well, last night I was working with a guy, and his husband came in and didn't like it. And Pim laughs again, and he says, yeah, I was getting there. And says, Pim kicked his ass, but first he kicked mine. And then you just you hear Pim say, yeah, if this idiot would actually lock his doors, maybe I could catch them before they get in.
Call is going to actually laugh a little bit and be like, that's a rookie mistake.
He just
Uh, Call's gonna say, I mean, obviously you're not okay. Was it worth it?
I don't think he knew anything.
So no. Well, maybe not.
He wasn't, and what he knew really wasn't.
Oh, that's really a letdown.
Yeah, you know.
Hmm. Well, at least you get a few days off of morning drill.
He just kind of winces.
How long is it gonna take before you go absolutely stir crazy in here?
5 minutes ago.
You were asleep 5 minutes ago.
I get crazy in my sleep.
That's apparent, actually. Oh God, I haven't seen much of you lately. You've been so busy.
Yeah, late nights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh God.
Zerka mentioned that we should send you to her if you got back. But have you talked to her?
I saw her last night, and she pretty much didn't say a word to me, so I should check in soon. Um, should check in soon. Before I do that, though, I Paul's gonna kind of just gently slump, not actually putting weight on Jax, but kind of just, the like physical contact. Paul's gonna be like, so you know how my brother was in town until recently?
He, yeah.
Huh?
Make an
Yeah,
insight check real
so
quick.
an insight check, you said?
Mhm.
I'm putting this away. We're putting this in dice jail. You want to guess what that was?
Was it another one?
Yeah. You dare, Asher. If that is the truth, Ben, I will actually come and I will massacre you. Do not. Do not.
You rolled a 1. You have no fucking clue.
I know. I'm telling you, if that's the truth. Oh, I'm putting this dice in dice jail. I'm going with something else. Okay. So, am I just to keep going?
Yeah, just go ahead. Continue.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to. Okay. So.
Just to calm you down, as far as you know, Juster is straight.
That's okay. You know what? I will accept that. I will accept that for the victory that it is right now. Any hoozle. I'm also assuming that Call has actually told Jax, because even though we haven't in-game talked to Jax, it has been over a fucking month.
Yeah.
So
you have
it's
seen
not
him
like,
some, like less than. He and List are busy most nights, and you're busy most days. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's definitely come up over the past fucking month. But anyway,
if not directly from you, but if not directly from you, through the grapevine of the rest of the barracks.
Absolutely. So the call's gonna be like, so I wrote a letter to my mom telling her I wasn't dead, and I got a response.
He tries to bounce in his bed a little bit and winces hard, and then just grabs the edge of his bed and scoots over, groaning the whole time.
Call's like, I can't read it alone. I don't know if I'm about to be just torn within an inch of my life or if I'm about to start crying. But I just kind of need someone here to do damage control.
You hear Pim cough a little bit, and then she says, "I don't do moms." Andy, come
I
fight
wasn't
with me.
asking you.
No, but I mean, she's there, and one would assume you're going to read it out
Yeah.
loud. So she like vaults
Oh,
down and
why would
drags
she assume
Andy
I was
out.
gonna read it out loud? Oh, see.
Either way, she takes Andy outside to go spar.
Okay.
So it is now just you and
So
Jax in the barracks.
Excellent. Okay. Um. So Carl is going to kind of like, while maintaining contact with Jax, is going to go ahead and open the letter.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm not prepared for this. Okay. Um. I I'm sorry for the people watching at home, but I have no intention of reading this out loud. I might share it with you guys, maybe, but like, I'm not reading this out loud.
We do get face journeys though, which is almost as good.
So Call is laughing as much as I laughed, and is definitely crying. So it's just wet laughter, is what that was. Um, and is probably going to just shove like, is Jax reading over Call's shoulder?
I think he's gonna wait unless you like sat in a position to where he could. He's not like trying to peek.
Okay. Call's gonna just kind of like hand Jax the sheet of paper.
Okay.
And they're close friends.
Mm-hmm.
All trusts Jax.
Yeah.
And is just going to like sit there and process for a minute.
Okay. Are you okay with me reading it out loud, or?
I am totally fine with that.
Okay. So first of all, there are smudges all over. Um, and there's places where there's words scratched out and like written over. Um, the spelling is very good. That's not actually listed for call, but the spelling is very good. Uh, and some of the paper, like some of the ink has been smudged where it looks like water has dropped onto it in certain places. And the letter reads, "Call, you ridiculous fool. The heart attack that you have given me may well give me the streak in my hair that I didn't get from birth. Between you dying and your father, not to mention your brother, whose foolishness seeks to outdo your own. Don't tell him I said that. He's trying. To be fair, I've been a bit of a fool as well. After your father passed, I did not give him the attention he needed. He did his best to step up, while all I could do was handle the business. I miss you, and I love you. I'm sorry we sent you to that place. I never thought I would outlive your father. I don't want to write everything down, but your father wasn't himself. And that disease wasn't normal. Here there's a few words that are like started and then scratched out and then started and scratched out. I already didn't trust those damn monks after they basically told us nothing about you. But now if I see the bastards, they'll have another thing coming. I doubt I will see them again, though. Lord Pawson has restricted their movement within his lands. From what I hear, tensions are high along the borders of the monastery's lands. Give Jester my love, help him while you can. From my understanding, he's to travel across half of Terraviri. That Duchess Heisa's a real bitch, but she's crafty. Don't make her your enemy. Storgard is a nice place. I've visited a few times on business years ago. That Count Storr is a strict man. I'm sure the long hair suits you. I want, and then it's scratched out. I hope that specialty means safe, but I'd much prefer you sitting on the arm of my chair with your nose in a book. I swear by all the gods, both living and dead, if you die before I can see you again, I will resurrect you and kill you again myself. As for your last paragraph, I will reiterate that you are a ridiculous fool. For me, my child has been brought back from death. I'm not saying that I'm not going to tan your hide the next time I see you for not coming home straight away. But you're grown now. It sounds like you have responsibilities. And in all honesty, lots of scratched out lines and blotted letters so it can't be read. In all honesty, we sent you away. It makes sense that you wouldn't come home when you thought you were in danger. All my love, Mom.
La chocolate, but I'm crying.
See? See? You are laughing and crying. There are emotions.
The Duchess is such a bitch.
Call's mom is my favorite character, and we haven't even really met her yet.
We need to go after Jester gets his mansion. We need to go see it, and then also meet Cole's mom.
I have a lot of emotions. Okay, how does Jax react?
So Jax finishes reading, you can kind of tell that he has finished reading it, but he doesn't put it down as if he has. He's kind of pretending to still be reading. And finally he does kind of lower it down, and he's like, so the white streak is genetic.
Yes, it's genetic. My great aunt had it.
He goes,
I didn't think I was gonna get it too.
He just nods.
Where did you think it came from?
He just kind of shrugs and he's like, I don't know how old you are.
And at this rate, you never will.
He takes a good little bit, and then he is just like, monastery, huh?
It calls finally processing that they don't talk about their life very much. Yeah. For a couple of years.
He just nods a little bit. He hands you the letter back. And he's like, well, it sounds like you're in for a beating the next time you see your mom.
Yeah, she's gonna kick my ass. Yeah, if you ever see me getting the absolute shit beat out of me by someone with a similar streak in their hair. Please be gentle, but rescue me.
He just like looks at the letter a little bit and goes.
Call's gonna laugh a little bit. And is also just gonna say, I can't believe I never told you about that. Man, I don't talk about myself very much, do I?
A hand goes to his head and he says, "People have secrets."
You can't begrudge them for that. Um, Call is going to uh bump Jax's shoulder and stand up and say, well, I should report to Zerka before someone else decides to tan my hide. Will you be okay all by your lonesome?
He just kind of looks down at himself and he says, "I guess," and then reaches down beside his bed and pulls his lute out and just starts strumming.
Call is going to, prior to leaving, go like underneath their bed and snag, like go and check Truffle's bed to see if Truffle is just chilling in the bed, and then go bring it over towards Jax's bed. So Truffle's just hanging out near Jax.
You do notice that Truffle is asleep, but his ear kind of starts twitching along with the music as Jax is playing.
And with that, Call is gonna go try and find Zerka.
You have a fucking 25 passive perception. On your way out, you hear Jax whispering to Truffle. You can't quite make it out, mostly because it's not really words. It's just like cooing at a baby type sounds.
Incredible. Excellent. So I guess Call's first gonna check Zerka's office.
Okay. It is a little later in the morning. I'm gonna say it's pushing like 10 a.m. Uh, just roll a d20 and just tell me the number.
Okay. See if this dice rolls better. Did 15.
Okay. You check Zerka's office and it's empty, and then as you turn around, she's like coming in.
Excellent.
She's Zerka goes places quickly. But she doesn't bustle in as she normally does. Like she normally comes in and immediately starts ruffling through papers and doing all kinds of shit. But she just kind of strolls in like she doesn't have somewhere to be, which is never something you have seen her do.
Call's not going to be entirely subtle about the like assessing look that they're giving her. Not like openly judgmental, but enough to brush aside if she doesn't want to address it, but
there's no like sudden gathering of herself or anything. She just matches your eye contact, takes note of your look but doesn't say anything, and then goes over to her little coat rack thing where she takes a vest that's hanging there and puts it on over because she's just wearing like shirt and pants. She takes off her normal vest that she wears almost all the time, and puts that on, which, because I have given a full description before, she does have her throwing knife bandoliers on over her shirt and pants, but she takes the vest that she normally wears over those and puts it on over them, and then does now take a little bit of a gathering breath, and then says, "Okay. Barnabas said something about draconians. I would like a full report."
Understood. So Paul is going to explain everything, has no intention of leaving anything out, is going to mention the Hillman and the going to mention the Knoll and what was happening with the cultist when they were found, and how right as we were, ending the attack on the Knoll, the Draconians came up and flanked us, and pretty much the play-by-play of that. Finding the Draconian camp with the map. Call is going to, because I think they're in Call's inventory, so Call is going to show her the stones. And I don't know if Call's the one holding the map, but I know Call's holding the stones.
You were the one to find it, so unless you would have given it to someone else, you would have it.
No, okay, so I'll hold the map. So Call will go ahead and show her the map. Will also show her the drawing of the bloodstain, and is also going to say that the woman turned into a werebear and attacked us, and just fucking annoying. So Call's pretty much going to tell Zerka everything.
Okay. As you wrap up, she's studying the map intensively. And she just, when you mention, you do mention that Henry heard signs from Yanagu, or just the bloodstain?
I think Call is going to be unintentionally vague about, like, I think Call's going to be like, oh yeah, and then, like, we heard something, etc., etc. Mostly because, less because Call's trying to be like, oh, less because Call's trying to keep a secret, and more because Call just didn't think to emphasize that.
Do you point out ties to Yanagu specifically?
With the bloodstain, yeah, probably not going, oh, we heard a voice from Yanagu, but, like, we heard something and we turned around and there was a bloodstain and we're pretty sure it's a sign from Yanagu, etc.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. She takes like a cursory glance at it and goes, "Yep, that's a bloodstain," and then spends more time examining the map. Asks about a couple of the landmarks, like especially. Well, I just asks about like just about every landmark on the map. I assume you describe the ones that you know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows about the town that is on the map. You tell her about the cabin, and the other locations that y'all were actually at. Tell me if I say something that is not what you want to do. And then so she studies it a little bit more, and then she says, "Okay." And she points, so she reiterates like the circle that the Knoll camp was at. She points at and she goes, "So the Knoll were here, and the Draconians attacked them here, or just attacked you?"
There were minimal attacks on the Knoll, I think, because they were like chucking rocks. But the Knoll were essentially dead.
She nods a little bit and goes, "Well, Draconians haven't been spotted in these parts ever, as far as I know. Um, Uh, kobolds, obviously. You know, the city is built on their corpses. Uh, but not draconians. It's not my area of expertise, but as far as I know, there's a great deal of magic that goes into creating them. Um,
Would that have anything to do with how they die? Like the
uh,
kind of magic?
uh, it could. How do they die?
Carl is going to explain how one of them turned to stone and one of them like exploded and there was like gross stuff and that sort of stuff. Um,
Uh, Sounds as if their existence is volatile. Um, am I the first person you're reporting to? I assume so, looking by the look on your face last night.
yes.
She nods and, uh, well, we will need to report to Anders soon. Um, get your things together. I'll let you present yourself to him on your own time. Best to do it today, though.
Understood. Um, and then Paul will just go, "Oh, before I forget." And is also going to mention is not going to mention the dreams, but is going to mention the zombie hawk that was following them.
Uh, she nods a little bit, look, and just goes, "I wish I could be more help, but sounds creepy." Um,
I really think the point of the takeaway from that is that there are more people watching and like it's not are not helpful.
hmm, hmm. There are far more players in this game than there need to be. She gives
Speaking
herself a
of,
shake.
speaking of, um, Call's about to be impertinent. Um, we are rapidly passing the point where I have any way out of this game with the role you have in this game, with the role the hearts have in this game, and with even the role I'm taking on for Lady Erida. We are passing the point where ignorance is any help for me. I am not useful, nor am I safe if I don't have the information necessary to do my job. I understand that I may not be in a position to know everything, but I feel that there is more that I should and can know that I have not been informed of.
Give me an insight check.
Okay. God, I hope this is working. I hope this works. Ooh, mod 20.
Okay. I am assuming you have not told her about Henry's discussions of coup.
Oh, good God.
I'm gonna want like word for word what you would tell her if you are gonna tell
Since
her.
it didn't occur to me prior to this moment, I'm going to say that it also didn't occur to Call in that moment because, they rolled a nat 1. They were fucking tired in the morning. They just read a letter from their mom.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and say that it hasn't even occurred to them yet.
Okay. With a mod 20, after that whole spiel, you see a lot of things on Zerka's face. It's a little bit anger about insubordination. But like that is the anger at insubordination was like a flash early on in what you were saying. As you continued, it very quickly went away. You see a bit of worry. Um, you see a bit of understanding. Um, the worry kind of keeps coming back even as it changes to other things. It seems to all be kind of underlined with worry. Um, and finally, after you finish what you say, she takes a deep breath, puts both hands on her table, kind of hangs her head a bit, and says, "We do not have the time for me to tell you everything, but I will try to get you up to speed over the next few days. First of all, Erida's a bit of an enigma. Not really sure what's going on there. She seems to be making all the wrong moves, but also she's making some wrong moves that, this is hard to explain. She's making moves that are only wrong if you're intending to be wrong. I don't think she is as clueless as she seems, but I don't have evidence to support that yet. There's just a couple things that don't add up. Esley told me of her reveal to you, and to be completely honest, if she trusts you that much, she makes a face that, I mean, she's a cat person. She looks like she's about to spit out a hairball. Um, she does not. But she reaches to her arm, to the gloves that she's always wearing, the fingerless gloves that go all like to her elbow basically. And she starts rolling one down and like stops halfway through and like takes a breath and then keeps going. And when her wrist is revealed, all of the fur is gone. There's no fur around her wrist. The skin that you see is heavily scarred, and I don't need to make you roll for it. You can tell that it's scarred from chains. You have a very high passive perception, so you take in all of that very quickly, which is necessary because she leaves that skin bare for like not even a second before she quickly rolls the glove back up, and then turns her back to you to continue speaking. She says, Anders' actions. One second. Anders' actions are unacceptable to someone who has power. There are dozens of people in this county who have power, and none of them have enough. If they were all working together, maybe, but it would still be a fight. And the fact is, There are some who wholeheartedly support him, and some who feel that they have no choice. I do not care for Count Ander. But this is where I am. For now, I am as close to safe as I have ever been. Estli is as close to safe as she has ever been. I would have to fight against someone who threatened that safety. She shakes herself again and turns back to face you. Um, we were talking about players in the game. Carta has honestly more power than she thinks, but it's all around muddy. She's stubborn, obstinate, refuses to work with anyone who she even slightly dislikes. She's suspicious, rightfully so. Ander is her nephew. There are those that want her on the throne. She's not one of them. Barnabas is old and much wiser than his age would dictate. But Count Storr was his best friend. He will not turn against Ander. Lord Commander Rhine is malleable. Lord Commander Umber does as the light teaches. She looks disgusted at that.
Call gives kind of a face.
The hearts have an alarming amount of power and act as if they have more. And to be honest, it might not be long before they do. That being said, I'm not sure their intents are wholly evil. They rarely are. But I'm beginning to think that them being selfish may not be to the worst of Storgard's future. We would be here for hours if I continued to list them all, but those are the major players.
Thank you. I appreciate your trust in me. And I will continue to do all that I can to be worthy of said trust. Call's gonna stop and think for a second.
She's going to take your silence and say, I picked the 12 of you. I did not pick poorly. but I have thrown you all into the deep end. And I can only hope that someone can throw us all a lifeline.
Let's hope we can also swim until then. What does this mean for... What are your thoughts, I suppose, on the hearts? It's not hard to assume what their intention is. And I know that safety is your concern. If safety is your concern, are you more specifically concerned with safety or the safety within the status quo? And how does that affect, and how does that relate to our lack of knowledge about what the Hearts specifically have planned?
Estley and I have fought for the safety we have. The status quo would allow us to keep what we have fought to make. But if Ander continues with what he was doing, Estley is in another form of captivity. I am not sitting idle. I am working to distance myself and the 12 of you from the Hearts. Something is going to happen there. I would prefer to not be caught up on either side. My pitch to Lord Commander Rhine for this group was to be a scouting and spying group, being able to gather information in ulterior means than, sitting next to a hill and looking at the enemy's army. We've been doing that. We've gotten a lot of information, and there's a lot of information to be had. As you've pointed out yourself, players keep popping up. I don't think we know all of them. I don't even think we know the major ones yet.
I believe that.
you hear the clock tower striking, and she kind of looks up and says, "As I said, I can't give you all the information right now. You have proved yourself. I will give you more. Stay alive." And
Stay safe.
she double checks that her gloves are like all the way up, secured and like straight and such. Gives herself another shake, which she has done a lot of, and then, in a much more Zerka-like manner, sprints out the door. Um, um, and with that, I know it's almost midnight for you, Bronwyn. Henry, I don't know if you had any immediate plans for when you woke up. Well, what we'll do is, Henry, what is your, like, where would you go once you did wake up? At probably the sound of the bell that Zerka just ran out the door to.
I think he would make himself presentable because he knows that they'll have to go talk to the Hearts and everybody else, Ander and everybody else to report. But he's not really feeling up to seeing people right now, so he just kind of stays and knits in his room and waits to see if Renner Call will come and to his room.
All right. Well, I suppose we'll pick up there next session. Short session, but a little bit of an info dump session.
Also a call only session.
Call only session. But
Sorry, guys.
there was a lot of info to get out.
Was.
You had been waiting for that letter like all year, so totally worth it. Also, Call being like, nope, tell me things. So worth it. I like this session. So
Koss spent
Yeah.
all the early sessions being very impertinent with Zerka, and I wanted to bring that energy back.
I'm happy to see it back.
It's an element of Call that kind of got lost with all of the upheaval of the recent time span. So it's nice to get some of that impertinence back.
So I have told Ash a couple times that I had backstories and stuff built up, and I was like, I have no idea if y'all are ever gonna learn these. If that's not the direction y'all went with the campaign, it'd be very easy for y'all to not learn. I was not sure if y'all would ever find out why Zerka always wears gloves.
I love it. 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 I fucking love it.
When you gave us in the chat that list of names that you were like, here's some names of people that you're gonna meet. I'm not giving you any context. What do you think they're like? And I think I said, oh yeah, this is one of them is like this guy who lives in the mountains and you're gonna meet him and he's something like that. Was that the Hillman? Was his name like Ed or something?
Ed? No,
Edward?
There's
somebody named Edward.
There is someone named Edward.
Was the Hillman Edward?
The Hillman was not Edward.
Okay.
That'd be such a non-Hillman name to have.
You don't know where he's from.
No, that is what Jenny said though. In February, Edward is a very old man living in the mountains whom we'll befriend and then be betrayed by.
I mean, it matches the character, but his name was not Edward.
Oh my god. Yeah, I gave way too specific answers for no
Well,
context.
he could be Cantio Tugra Mallet. I don't think he was Scale Dresser Sniggle.
He seemed
Can
like a
you imagine
sniggle.
big? I was about to say big burly mountain man named Sniggle.
Oh no, like the huge Muppet, like the big scary monster Muppet. That's Sweetums.
Yeah, that's right.
Sweetums. I like the Muppets. But
Ash, you're like breathing directly
You're
into your mic.
exhaling into your mic.
Um, but yeah, I don't know why I can't help but give all my NPCs trauma.
Everyone loves it. Oh god, so much wonderful information. Oh, so much wonderful information. And now Call is gonna have this, like, I think Call realized halfway through the conversation that they did not make a decision before talking to Zerka on whether or not to bring up Henry. And so they were like, I'm gonna wait until I've had time to process this instead of doing something I may regret later. uh so Call's gonna have to have a part of the next day where they just sit there and they're like, okay, well, fuck, what do I do now?
When
Is it
Zerka,
worth bringing up? Go ahead.
when Zerka said something like, if anybody, people who are going to oppose Ander or oppose the peace or something like that's somebody I would have to stand against. I was just like, I was sweats emoji. I was like, oh my god, Call's gonna talk about Henry right now, and I can't even be mad. Sweats.
Oh god. Yeah, Call's having a moment. Call's having a real fucking moment.
I feel, I mean, me, not Henry, because Henry doesn't know. I feel very like honored that Call didn't like out Henry right then and there. Like, after taking a moment thinking about it, maybe Call will, but like not doing it right then, it's very nice.
I have to figure out if Call will. I have to figure out if Call will.
After Henry gave his spiel of I have decided I'm gonna try and help the hearts. After that session, I think it was the next day, I told Ash, man, if you don't want to play Henry anymore, I've got an easy way to write him out of the campaign.
Yeah, and I was like, no, if I don't want to play Henry anymore, I was gonna have him like go do joy missions and keep him alive. Like, um, I had to really think about it because I've been thinking since the last session, like after talking to Call and Ren, it affected how Henry's seeing things. I had to figure out how, and now I'm gonna try to not let this color how I think he's gonna react because Henry doesn't know any of this.
I thought about that a little bit into the conversation with Zerka. I was like, oh, maybe this should be a one-on-one. But then I looked at the clock and I was like, I don't want this to be a call-only session where y'all aren't even here.
Like, I'm gonna keep on going with what Henry was thinking before I found any of this out. Um, but man, that was a lot. If he knew what Zerka said, he probably wouldn't do what he's about to do. So we'll see what happens.
Called dramatic irony, and I love it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I am fascinated by the not parallel kind of motivations that we all have. I'm just very, very interested in this. I think this is a really cool group that is made of individuals. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just realized that we have a rogue who has some pretty hardcore I like my boss energy, and a paladin who's a little bit anarchist,
Yep.
and that's a little bit of a script flip.
I was thinking about it, and Jenny, you know how you were saying that Call and Henry have friends in Storgard, like we have history. Well, it's kind of the opposite for Henry, where Ren and Call have something keeping them in Storgard, but Henry has nothing. Like Henry has no reason to stay in Storgard except for the current Null stuff and friends.
Oh boy.
Like all the storyline that he's had is stuff that I'm just bringing up because I'm dramatic. None of it. There's nothing for Henry, and like it's fine because I feel like there's a lot anyway. But it's just, I don't know.
Next session's gonna be
Go.
fun.
I'm gonna spend the next like fucking week just trying to process one, the information, and two, what the fuck Call's gonna do about fucking Henry?
Gonna go to the store.
Call, well, you know, I feel like Call kind of leaves that conversation very frustrated with Henry, specifically because they're in this conundrum at the moment. I feel like Call leaves the room and is just like, fucking Henry, what did you fucking tell me? Shit, why do I have to know things? Yet, did they understand the irony? Don't at them.
I'm biting my tongue, but I love you, and we're on the same side. Is all I'm gonna say. You and me are on the same side. Asher and Bronwyn are.
Yeah.
Not to make it sound like Call and Henry aren't.
Well, I mean, right
I
now,
love all
Call's
of
kind
this.
of on the side of a coup right now, and or no, Henry's on the side of a coup right now. And Call's just kind of sitting here like, oh god. Oh,
Guess we'll
God,
see what
okay.
happens.
And on that note, I gotta go to bed.
Can we talk about when next session, or do you want to do that in chat?
It's fine. I. So my calendar's probably worse than the rest of yours because I have someone coming into town tomorrow who is going to be here for over a week. So she can. It is very possible that we could still play while she's here because she's going to be here for over a week. So she would not begrudge us hanging out for a little while. But just letting you know that if we do something like that, there will be someone in the background. And on Saturday and Sunday, I will be in Dallas for the weekend and will not be able to play.
Okay.
My mom's coming on Friday, and she's only staying Friday night through Sunday afternoon, so we can't play Friday or Saturday. And we probably need Thursday to clean because
I should have clarified I should have clarified for my Saturday and Sunday, I meant not tomorrow, not
Yeah.
the day after tomorrow. Yeah.
Right,
I meant
right.
the 1st.
Yeah, that's when my mom's coming. My mom's coming in on the 1st. And so I mean, we could either do Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday or Wednesday, or we could just do it the week after next.
I think I could have the Death Gauntlet ready by Wednesday.
Oh.
that looks like a yes to me.
Yeah.
Or,
Die.
or
Okay.
three
Yeah, let's
puppies
do it.
that keep hearing their name across the room.
That's what that was.
That is what that was. Why are all of us puppies?
I don't know, but you were all doing the.
Arthur does that. It's the stupidest shit.
Where the fuck did my cat go? Oh, there he
Oh,
is.
he's right there. Yeah.
He's right there.
Oh.
I am totally down with having someone in the background, and honestly, I think having someone in the background may be less interesting for them to watch a combat session, but no metagamey like information given for a RP session. So,
Gabby will live.
and that being said, I'm trying to make the fucking combat cool. So yeah.
Who knows? She may learn something about D&D.
Hey, I would love to have guests. That would be really fucking cool. I would have to
Okay.
get better about prepping a session. But yeah, I would love to have guests. That would be really fucking cool.
Well, that one time Bridget was just sitting over my shoulder turned out to be a great session to have a guest, because that's the session where you killed my dad.
Hey.
And Bridget was dying laughing.
Okay, but that session, if you go back and listen to it, we were all loopy as shit. The banter in that session, just between characters, was so funny. I don't know. We were just on it with just horrible jokes that day. It was great. So yeah, if you're ever feeling down, just go ahead and listen to that session.
Which one is it?
It was the one where
I might have it in my.
It was around December 16th or 19th. I don't remember
like
how they're
20
labeled.
something.
Okay.
Yeah. Mid-December, right by Christmas.
I think it's the last one that I actually had like going in my notes. I have to go back and take notes on
Oh,
so much, guys.
You're that far behind?
Yeah, I'm that far behind. I haven't written down like almost any of the ones that we've actually caught on video because I've been just so like, oh, I can play now, that I just haven't been keeping up with my notes.
My notes.
Do you have the session with Jester recorded?
Yeah.
Oh, because I have that listed as session 14. Do we have session 14, or is it just audio?
Let me see. It was just audio.
Okay.
I think we could, uploading just the audio to YouTube would be fun.
I want to, but I don't want to upload it with a black screen, so I kind of want like an image that goes along with the campaign or something to put with it. But I don't at the moment, which is why I haven't uploaded them yet.